What's going on, guys? We got tea time with Jeff Ledbetter. Yeah, Team One Leg CEO. Yeah. We're gonna talk about shooting. I've been asking a bunch of the most elite shooters. I consider Jeff one of the most elite shooters that I've ever had the privilege of training, and I've been asking people how they got to where they are, as a shooter. And I kind of wanted Jeff to kind of relay the message on where he started with his shot, how he perfected it, and just give you a take on how one of the best shooters, in my opinion, in this game today kind of shoots the basketball. Jeff Ledbetter.
So I didn't grow up training, doing all that. I was in my front yard every day. I have two brothers. My dad was an elite shooter. Just stand still, can't move, but can't do anything laterally, but stand still will make 100 free throw, automatic. And just visual, he just had high release, good follow through, all that. He just used to always preach on, release and follow through. And it was really just playing in the front yard with my brothers. Like I told you, I didn't have a trainer till after college. So it was all just visual watching. One of my favorite players was Allen Houston growing up. Just watching, I just drew to him, Ray Allen and Michael Redd. Even though Reds was funky, it was just anyone that made it, I would just watch because it's they're doing something right, you know what I mean? And so honestly, it was just shooting it all day, every day, and not overthinking it. I see a lot of kids that are elbow, wrist, what finger do I shoot off of? I'm I don't know, I shoot with my thumbs. It works, if it goes in, so, yeah, I mean, there's a little different story than a lot of people, but I feel we talked to a lot of dudes I know that, I've seen the elite shooters in the world, not me, but Clay and guys like that, you said, we didn't have shooting coaches. It was just kind of a feel thing. It's just kind of
touch me.
Everyone's shot is different. I can't go and mimic Steph's shot and it becomes the same shooter Steph is. That's his shot. Yeah.
I dig that. In an age where we think internally, how can I perfect my shot? What do I need to do? It's all self-help, shooting mechanics. We grew up in an age where it's external. What are these guys doing? And then it's an interpretation of those mechanics.
How do I make it mine?
Yeah, and that's kind of the missing link is when we were growing up, we didn't have coaches, because I was the same way. I didn't have a shooting coach, or I didn't have anybody to teach me how to shoot. So as I was visually seeing my favorites Allen Iverson and Ray Allen and Manu Ginobili, watching them shoot, I was taking notice of the key aspects that I thought were important. I was interpreting that, and then I was allowing those other mechanics to just kind of figure it out. Yeah. And that's where, because I'm the same way. When I started telling myself no, I need to shoot a certain way because I'm a trainer, I started shooting the ball more poorly. Yeah. Because I took out that mechanic or that belief of just feel and touch. And I guess something with you, me run a clip of Jeff's shot. You shoot the ball with two hands. two-hand shooter, but you have, I consider, some of the best touch because of that. You just know when to apply pressure because of how you've kind of developed and you've kind of catered your shooting style to being more touch oriented and feel.
Yeah, that's a big word. Feel is like you said. So many guys, as kids get in their own head, like, oh, I want to shoot just like Clay. Like I want to release, and it's like, well, you're not Clay. Like you're not sick. You don't have the same body. You don't have the same build. Like even if you do have the exact same body, like we're all built different. Flexibility, like whatever the case may be. Like Michael Redd was an elite shooter, but like how many like. Can you shoot like that? No, you're not going to be effective. You know, like so, like you said, just finding what works for you, and then going in the front yard and doing it over and over, and consistency, doing the same thing, whether it's like the perfect shot or not. Like if you do the same thing every single time, you're going to get good at it. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of dudes will every summer they're trying to change their shots, and it's like, you know how long it takes to perfect a shot, like. You can't do that every year.
No, one can make the argument that you're going to get worse.
Yeah.
You throw that many conflicting statements or conflicting like teaching methods or critiques into your shot. Now you mess with your head, like on what's really going on with your shot. So when you step up to shoot, you're thinking about X, Y, and Z rather than just the ball going in the hole.
Yeah.
And like that's something like I just think it's such a missing. And don't get me wrong, like. There needs to be detail orientation with shots.
Yeah.
But we think of it very basic, like 4 pillars to shooting. Your footwork staying consistent getting into your shot, your security or your hand placement on the ball, like when you catch it, like if you have the ball bobbling around, you're not going to have success. Ball and hip rhythm, your fluidity, which you excel at, and then your release. Make sure you're not pushing off. But I mean, those 4 pillars allow for so much, diversity.
It's all in moderation. Like it's not if someone comes in here with some crazy like shot over here, like okay, we need to bring that at least to this center to right side. Like, but if you have a decent shot, like then it just becomes a feel thing and like little details, but not just don't overthink. Just I always tell people like just do it. You know what I mean? Like it's like the float. Like people try to guide it. Like you always preach, don't guide it. Like you know, it's just a feel thing. Like, but. I guess not everyone born with feel, so like that's the hard part.
Not everyone is born with feel because a lot of trainers out there are predisposing, like we're exposing these kids to like block style training. Yeah. It has to be like this, and you need to work on this, and the footwork need to be exactly like this, and it needs to be this. And then you lose that feel, you turn into a robot.
Yeah.
Don't be a robot.
Yeah. No, it's adapt your game. I always try to tell kids like, you know, it's a reaction sport in some ways, but like you just gotta like it just goes back to feel. I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse. It's like
you don't need to overdo it either.
Yeah.
There it is. Shooting tips with Jeff. Tea time with Hef. Tea time with Mr. Honey Bunches of Floats himself. Jeff Ledbetter. Thank you, Hef.
Yes, sir.
It's all about feel, baby. Yeah.